Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by the awesome people I call my Patreon supporters. Thank you all so much for this. It's also dedicated to every one of you who subscribes to my channel. Every time I say it, I mean it. As long as you guys like it, I'm going to keep doing this. So thank you. I mean that. Today we're building Charles Lee Ray, or as his friends call him, Chucky. In life, Chucky was a career serial offender. I say offender because there wasn't a single crime he didn't enjoy or constantly do. Theft, murder, so on. He just liked it. Eventually, his criminal activity caught up to him, and in a standoff with a cop, Chucky was critically injured and knew his time was up. Reciting an incantation, Chucky transferred his soul into a good guy doll. Now inside of a toy, Chucky continues his evil ways, leaving destruction in his wake. Unfortunately, and fortunately, Chucky discovered that not only was it hard to return to a human body, but also it was even harder for him to just, stay dead. Chucky has died multiple times, only to be reborn in a new body each time. Before we begin, I need to say we'll be ignoring everything past Curse of Chucky, including the new TV show, because damn is that a nice ability Chucky has picked up, but unfortunately it's not something we can do in D&D. The closest thing we can do is clone, and that's a 9th level spell and doesn't actually do what is seen in the movie or show. So we're going to have to ignore the soul splitting ability. If you're using this to make your big bad, give them that ability, but don't make each duplicate a max level duplicate. I would suggest each generation of duplicate gets weaker, maybe a little bit dumber, have some defects, but this is completely up to you. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook and Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. We're using standard point array and we're not multi-classing, so you don't need to worry about minimums. This is going to be a pretty easy and fun build. We'll start off with Charisma at 15. Even before you were transformed, you were an expert of deception. Dex will follow with 14. You are a sneaky little dude, plain and simple. Con comes in at 13. We could write a novel just listing your injuries that you have survived that normal people couldn't. Intelligence will come in at a 12. You routinely scheme and plot, and they're pretty good schemes. Wisdom will be a 10. There is a reason your schemes fail, and we're going to be dumping strength. You're tiny, like under 3 feet tall. Not much I can do with that one. You have died multiple times and just keep coming back, so we're going with Reborn, found in Van Richten's. If you believe Chucky should be a Warforged or Auto-Gnome, go right ahead, but no. In the original movie, if you watch closely as the movie progresses, Chucky becomes more and more human physically. Something I wish they kept throughout the series, but having multiple animatronics that look different to show the progression of transformation can be expensive. Also remember, the description of a reborn isn't always a reanimated corpse. I have had 2 players play living dolls using Reborn. Can also work pretty well for Time Lords too. No, I will not be doing a Doctor Who build. Place +2 into Dex and +1 into Charisma. Ancestral Legacy grants you 2 skills from your former life. Take Insight and Investigation. Knowledge from a past life improves your skill checks. Now when you roll for a skill check, you can add a d6 to the roll. You can use this feature enough times equal to your proficiency bonus between long rests. Deathless Nature makes you much harder to kill. You have advantage on death saving throws, advantage against being poisoned and diseased, you have resistance to poison damage, you don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, and you don't sleep and can't be put to sleep. Your long rests are now 4 hours long, where you stay motionless but aware of your surroundings. For background, we're going to need to take the skills Arcana and Perception. Finally, I'd like to point this out. You can choose your size, but size will not matter for this build. So if you want, make Chucky a medium creature, but I'm going to be playing this as if you're a 2 foot tall creature. I think everyone can figure out where I'm going to go with this build. Level 1 Rogue starts with 4 skills. Take Deception, Stealth, Performance, and Sleight of Hand. Expertise takes 2 skills you're proficient with and doubles their proficiency bonus. We'll need all the skills you get from this class to be double scored. I say start with Stealth and Deception, but if you want to change that up, go right ahead. But trust me, all 4 Rogue skills are going to be Expertise, and that's a good thing. Sneak attack adds bonus damage to your attacks with a ranged or finesse weapon when you have advantage on the attack or within 5 feet of an enemy of the target. I love how it doesn't say ally of you, but enemy of the target. Sums up Chucky pretty well, doesn't it? This bonus damage starts off at 1d6 but will grow. Thieves' Cant is a secret language that uses gestures, phrases, and symbols. Level 2 rogues gain Cunning Action. Hide, dash, disengage are now bonus actions to you. Level 3 rogues now have access to their subclass. Let's improve your killing and hiding skills with Assassin from the player's handbook. You're now proficient in Disguise Kit and Poisoner's Kit. Assassinate gives you advantage on attack rolls on a creature that hasn't taken its turn in combat yet. Also, when you hit a creature that is surprised, that automatically crits. Steady Aim is a bonus action that you can use on a turn you haven't moved to give yourself advantage on your next attack, but your speed is reduced to 0 until the end of your current turn. Finally, your sneak attack is now 2d6. Level 4 rogues earn our first ability score improvement. Let's bump up dex for better damage and AC. Level 5 rogues receive Uncanny Dodge. When you take damage from an attack, you can use your reaction to half the damage. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 3d6. Level 6 rogues gain 2 more expertise. Finish ramping up your rogue skills and place this into performance and sleight of hand. Trust me, we're gonna need it. If you haven't figured out why, don't worry, I'll explain later. Level 7 rogues now have evasion. This improves your dex save, so now you take no damage on a success and half damage on a failure. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 4d6. Level 8 rogues earn another ability score improvement. Place this into Charisma. Level 9 Assassin rogues gain Infiltration expertise. You can now craft a false identity for yourself, now spending 7 days and 25 gold to create the perfect fake identity. This doesn't really work for you because your second identity is a doll. You just stand still and everyone believes you. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 5d6. Level 10 rogues earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Dex. Level 11 rogues now have Reliable Talent, one of my favorite features. Now all skills you're proficient with can never be lower than 10 on the roll. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 6d6. Level 12 rogues earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Charisma. Level 13 Assassin rogues receive Imposter. You can now spend 3 hours learning how to perfectly mimic someone else's voice. You also have advantage on deception checks made to keep the ruse going. Not gonna lie, Assassin is a great class, but it doesn't always work well all the time because it's geared out for infiltration and deception over killing, which most people believe an assassin should be good at that. By the way, your sneak attack is now upgraded to 7d6. Level 14 rogues gain Blindsense. Now, as long as you can hear, you are aware of the location of any creature, even invisible creatures, within 10 feet of you. Level 15 rogues now have Slippery Mind. You now have proficiency in wisdom saves. Level 16 rogues earn another ability score improvement. It's time to start grabbing some feats. Tough gives you double your current character level in health, which is 32, and then adds +2 to each level after. Level 17 Assassin rogues receive their final subclass feature. Death Strike increases your damage against a surprised creature. When you hit a creature that is surprised, you force a con save. Should they fail, you now double the damage to that creature. By the way, remember, if you hit a creature that is surprised, you automatically crit them. We'll do the math later, but oh my gods. Your sneak attack damage is now upgraded to 9d6. Level 18 rogues now have Elusive. You can now never have advantage against you while you aren't incapacitated. Level 19 rogues earn our final ability score improvement, and we need another feat. Well, we don't need it, but let's grab it. Resilient adds +1 to your con and makes you proficient in con saves. If you don't like this feat, we don't really need it, we just need the con up. But no other plus con feats really work well, and adding +2 to con really will not raise it any higher than the +1, so might as well get a bonus to it. If you don't like it, just add the +2. Finally, your sneak attack damage is maxed out at 10d6. Our final level is level 20 rogue, and you gain Stroke of Luck. Now, if your attack misses a target within range, you can turn it into an automatic hit. You can also turn a failed ability check into an automatic 20 without adding modifiers. You can do this once per short or long rest. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 8, Dex 20, Con 14, Intelligence 12, Wisdom 10, Charisma 20. Let's dive in. Let's take a look at your damage first. Wielding a dagger, which you can conceal with a roll that can never be lower than 27, bet you just figured out why we wanted sleight of hand so high, you'll be dealing 1d4 plus 5, and that's just the start. Let's add sneak attack damage, which will bring it to 1d4 plus 5 plus 10d6. If they're surprised and they fail a con save, that is going to be 2d4 plus 5 plus 20d6 times 2, which comes out to around 130 possible damage, taking the average. Ouch! Your skills are great as well. You're adding +17 to stealth, deception, performance, and sleight of hand, and they can never be lower than 27 after a roll. Now, why on earth did I want you to have a high performance in deception? Because you need that to act like a doll. Depending on how your DM decides, deception or performance will be needed for that, so we gave you both. Also, since you don't breathe, that will help. Finally, you're also incredibly hard to hurt or pin down. You are proficient in 4 different saving throws, have advantage on death saves, can reduce damage, your dex saves are better than everyone else, attacks against you can never be at advantage, and you are bringing in a grand total of 178 HP, taking the average, which will only get better if you have a higher con stat. Downside. Firstly, no magical damage. Not a problem though, as you'll get magical gear. I have to put this in here because there actually is non-magical classes that can deal magical damage, and you're not one of them. Your strength also sucks. Not too much of a problem, but grappling will always be against you. But you know who can't grapple? The people who don't notice you till you stab them, which is everyone, because you're 2 feet tall and just refuse to die. Well, you refuse to stay dead. There's a difference there. So get out there, cause some mayhem, scheme your way to the top till you get too arrogant for your own good and fail. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character. We're diving back into the fog and bringing to life another killer from Dead by Daylight. Who will it be this time? It's Deathslinger versus the Plague.